What up, YouTube Elleix? Come back at you with another custom StarCraft cast. Today we have a 1 vs 1 matchup featuring the Cosmonarchy mod. If you're not familiar with this mod, this is effectively a Brood War overhaul mod that adds new units, new mechanics, and eliminates the supply cap and more. It's insane what they've done to this engine. Let's go ahead and introduce our players, and we'll jump right into it. Spawning on the bottom right-hand side of the map, it's our orange Terran player, Yude64. Hopefully I said that correctly. Going up against his opponent, spawning on the top left-hand side of the map, it's our reddish Zerg player, Krakendow 1.5. Now, one thing to mention right away with this mod is we have 100 colors to choose from as players. Let's take a look at what color this Zerg player actually is. It's mahogany, so this is a mahogany Zerg going up against, I swear to God, if this is not an orange Terran, I'm done. It's pumpkin. So I was very wrong. Not very wrong. Pumpkin is orange, but that is nowhere close to the word orange. Now, my last cast featuring this mod, I had the developer on for a co-cast. He was a treasure trove of information, Pronogo. Big shout out to him. I'll leave his channel in the description below, as well as in a pinned comment below. And our last cast, I will also leave in the description. That was a really good game. Like I said, he was a treasure trove of information. I mean, I had no idea what I was looking at. I'm still very noob when it comes to this mod. Immediately, we have a Terran Hurricane on the field. This appears to be a Firebat equivalent, but we shall see. Meanwhile, the Zerg Drawlith, the drone equivalent, going towards the Terran side of the map to get some scouting information, will spot the Hurricane, and they don't even care. They're like, oh, hey, sup, bro. Anyway, we got stuff to do. Oh, man, we'll see if this Terran Hurricane has any sort of potential for doing some sort of harassment. The Zerg Zethrockers are already on the field. These are effectively our Zergling equivalents. Yude64 trying to kite around and keep this Hurricane alive, almost taking out the Zerglings, but they do survive, or the Zethrockers, I should say. Oh, and these, I believe, are the Quasilisks. These are super cool. So they have an Acid Barb ability, or an Acrid Barb ability, and this is effectively a mix between a Zergling and a Hydralisk. It's like a mini Hydralisk. It's super cool. But keep in mind, we do have Zerg Hydras also in this game. From what I was told by Pronogo, the developer of this mod, each race has about 50 units to choose from, and also you have extra late game units. I think Tier 3 is intended to be very late game, so a lot of games don't even get to Tier 3. From what I've been told and also what I've witnessed, we have not seen any Tier 3 games. This is my third cast featuring this mod. Now, the Marines are the Terran Mavericks in this game. There's a bunker here as well, the Terran Anchor, as we can see with this orange lettering. The Anchor does have 2 out of 4 slots occupied. The Zethrockers running around, getting some decent map control for the Zerg player, getting vision kind of all across the map. Not necessarily all across the map, but far away from the map, or far away from the main base for the Zerg player is what I should say. Lots of Quasilisks, though. I don't know. How many Quasilisks is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 of them right now, I think. What do we have here? A Zerg Hydra. Then I assume this allows us to build Hydralisks and also allows us to build something that's not a Hydralisk. If you can see from that sprite portrait right there, I'm very curious to see what the Zerg player is going to pump out from those eggs. A Terran unit does go down. Also, the Zerg is still on 1 base for the time being, which is wild. Okay, where are these units that I just looked at? Oh, here we go. The Zerg, what is this thing? Oh my God, let me click it. The Zerg is Rocker. I don't know if I said that correctly, but this thing looks like something out of Predator. I don't know, man. This is crazy. It's a bipedal monstrosity. I love that. Taking a look at what the Terran player is up to, we have Terran Cyprians, so twin railguns on this thing. That's crazy. It attacks air and ground. This Hurricane trying to catch some of these Zethrockers out of position. This one might go down, and it doesn't. It gets away, and it has 1 kill to its name. Great unit control by Krakendow. Meanwhile, a big engagement shaping up on the top side of the map. These Rockers or whatever. Super scary looking. Actually, what do they even do? They have energized bioplasma. So what does this do? How much damage does it do, actually? So, damage 7. It's super loud. Hopefully you can still hear me. This is insane. The Terran army getting absolutely hammered. Who's going to come out ahead in this engagement, though? The Zerg player with one Rocker left does win that engagement. That is insane. Krakendow saying, well, that was close. No kidding, man. That was wild. You'd saying you held. What a crazy engagement. What is this? A Terran Ankyle. So this appears to be some sort of healing unit, possibly? It's a detection unit. That's something. Oh, what? The Terran anchor can lift off? The bunker lifts off, ladies and gentlemen, and there's a whole animation for it. That is super sick. Oh, man. More Zerg Rockers on the way. I really hope I'm saying it mostly correct because I said it so many times. It would become a meme at this point. Anyway, the natural base location's looking mighty healthy for the Zerg player as well as the Terran player, might I add. Also, a little bit of a fun fact. The Terran Watchdog, the missile turret equivalent, also lifts off. There's just no animation yet, as far as I know. So this Terran Ankyle, I'm trying to decide what it does. Unfortunately, we can't read what it does. And like I said, I'm still very noob at Cosmonarchy. I technically haven't even played a game yet because I wanted to jump right into casting. Eventually, I will play, though. There is some tutorial out there. There are missions for sure. So I am going to play the missions and make videos about it, which will also help me get more knowledge on the game as well. Anyway, the Terran Trojan, great name, does have 7 out of 8 slots. The Hurricane, looks like 5 Hurricanes, Clerics, and Mavericks in this thing. 8 out of 8 slots are taken. 1 Cleric and 2 Mavericks, excuse me. So this Trojan likely going to the main base for the Zerg player. Right now, it seems like both players are just chilling, happy to play a more passive game, macro up a little bit. I would love to see Tier 3 appear in this game. All right, we did a bit of a volume adjustment because I realized some of these sounds were really loud in my headphones and I didn't want to get drowned out. Anyway, this Terran Trojan moving towards the Zerg side of the map. Meanwhile, it looks like Krakendow may be a little bit out of position to deal with this drop. We do have a little bit of static defense here. 2 Zerg Circuit Cesians. I hope I said that correctly. This is our Sunken Colony equivalent. Anyway, Yude with the drop in the main mineral line. This is Rocker running to save these Drawliths, but the Trojan moving on to the natural base location. Luckily, though, the Zerg player able to catch that before losing too many more workers. I mean, there's blood here featuring both races right now. Looks like some units in the middle of the map also for Yude appear to be potentially on the move, and yes, they are. Moving across the map, taking a look at the total supply, it looks like 54 supply to 56, almost identical. This Zerg army is looking really scary. Some Zerg eggs here morphing as well. I don't know what these things are morphing into. Are they morphing into Rockers or are they morphing into Bactylisks? They're morphing into Bactylisks. I wonder if that is from the Zerg Hydralisk that they transform from. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys are familiar with Cosmonarchy. Do the Bactylisks, excuse me, come from the Hydralisk? A big engagement at the third base location for the Zerg player. This army is looking really scary for Krakendow, though. A lot of units going down. I don't think the Terran player will be able to hold. And it's a total wipe of the Terran army. A few ghost equivalents here. The Eidolons cloaking, but uncloaking when they shoot. And going down. Now Krakendow on the move for a counterattack. Base number 3. Oh, no. This is looking really scary for the Terran player, I think. These Bactylists are super sick. The Terran Hurricanes, they do seem to have a good spread of damage. Unfortunately, though, their range is just lacking compared to the Bactylisk, and this is giving Krakendow some space to kite the Terran army. Ultimately, though, it looks like the Terran player will come out ahead with the support of the Terran Savants and the Eidolons. And a 4th base coming down as well for our Terran player. Taking a look at what the Zerg player is up to back home. The supply is still relatively even. More is rockers coming out from these hatcheries, I think. Or I guess it's technically a hatcherosk. Base number 3 also still healthy. One thing I also have to mention about this mod is minerals don't deplete. So let's see if we already have it. Yes, we do. So the mineral fields, you can see they're kind of grayed out. These give, I think, about 50% less minerals than they typically would, but they will not deplete any further. The reasoning behind that is the developer of the mod wanted to make sure that bases still had value throughout the entirety of the game. Yes, maybe not a lot of value, you know, maybe not as much value as they would have at the beginning of the game, but at least some value, which I think is really cool. Oh, what is this? Oh, okay, so some Hurricanes right here, keeping an eye on base number 4 as well as this potential base number 4 location. Now this army's looking really scary. It looks like a full bio army versus Zerg, which is something I feel like we don't see too often. Usually TvZ, you see a mech play coming out from the Terran player. Oh, man, this is a lot of bio. This is actually insane. What are the medics called? The Terran Cleric. Yeah, that makes sense. We saw them earlier. But to be fair, this Zerg army also looks terrifying. A lot of range on this army as well, might I add. It looks like Yud is trying to figure out what position he wants to attack the Zerg player from. You know, maybe I would go from this position. From the potential 4th base location. Is that what he's going to do? I would love it. I would love it if he did that, man. That would be awesome. So some movement of workers. Yeah, some SCVs will still stay here. I guess the Terran Masons, technically. But, yeah, like I said, it's only a 50% yield, I believe, from those depleted minerals. Or partially depleted minerals. Oh, that hero is Rocker. Kind of showing the Zerg player that something may be going on. Oh, and this army is out of position. Krakendow being very cautious, not wanting to overextend, but will potentially get part of this Terran army out of position. You going for the surround on the Zerg army. We have all kinds of shenanigans going on. Some lurker equivalents as well on the left-hand side. Will Yud break the break the Zerg army? And it looks like he may. These lurker equivalents, the Lakizilisk, doing some extra damage, though. What are these? The Zerg Zoriuslalith. A crazy monster-looking thing. Cleaning up the Terran army. Oh, man, that was a pretty good engagement for the Zerg player. I wish we could see resources lost, but unfortunately we can't. So far, the supply is virtually identical for both players. So a very even matchup so far. What is this? The Zerg Vilgorocker. This thing is crazy cool looking. This thing looks like, I don't know, something from New Phyrexia from Magic or something. Oh, wow. That is crazy cool looking, man. Or maybe something from Alien. I don't know. Either way, very sick unit designs for these Terran and Zerg factions. Let me tell you, or Zerg, I guess, variants. A 4th base coming down for Krakendow. Now, what does the Zerg Vilgorocker do? Dissolving Sabers. This is a melee attack. It does 18 damage. Cooldown is 0.75 seconds. Attack speed is 1.33 seconds. Looks like a potential a potential engagement in the middle of the map, and I just realized the Ankyle has has solar panels on it. That's cool. I really want to know what it does. Unfortunately, I do not. Okay, for a second I thought we saw some friendly fire, but no, it was looks like a run by of maybe a Hurricane that got killed by that lurker equivalent. Oh, this Bactalisk. Just briefly seeing this Terran army and somehow running away with its life. These Eidolons will more than likely die. Some sort of gas ability from these Zerg units. So much AoE damage, so much acid. I'm not entirely sure what that's coming from. The Lurker equivalent's doing a lot of damage as well. The Terran Cataphract. Some sort of mech unit here will likely go down. It does 40 damage. And it will go down. This Zerg army just tearing through all this Terran stuff. The Science Vessel here, or the Seraph, the Science Vessel equivalent for the Terran player, still alive. Looks like it's casting spells on these Zerg units. But now we have what appears to be the natural base location, I believe. Or maybe the third base location. I can't actually tell from this angle. I think this is the natural base in danger. This is a really cool looking structure here. The Terran Captaincy. That must be a tier 2 or 3 structure, actually. I'm not entirely sure. So much action, though. And here we go. Looks like the main base for the Terran player in jeopardy will likely go down. I'm not entirely sure if Yude can do anything about this. There is action all over the map. Some Terran Sentinels here as well. Static defense, evidently, for the Terran player, but there's just so much stuff, so much Zerg stuff everywhere. Yude, 64, throwing out the GG, giving the victory to Kraken Dow 1.5. What a sick custom StarCraft 1 matchup. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please consider shooting me a like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you want me to cast any of your own games, I will leave my email and Discord in the description below. And I'll see you guys on the next one.